Hi everybody, I'm Stephanie Kosworch with the Stephanie K Group at eXp Realty, and today I'm bringing you to our newest listing. And when I say new, I mean new construction. This gorgeous property is modern and unforgettable. So let's take you inside. I'd love to show you around. So our brand, the Stephanie K Group, years ago, I wanted to make sure that we have these standards, and in holding standards in everything that we do, media is absolutely part of that. When I was doing photos myself back before 2013, it was fine, but I quickly realized after I started using professionals that, you know, I'm really good at selling houses. I'm not good at shooting my own pictures and videos. So back in 2013 is when I saw a huge shift in the days on market. And that was the first thing I noticed with listings, is that it took it down exponentially because my listings were more attractive online. So we would get more clicks and then we would get more showings. You fast forward to when we started using video in 2019, it did even more. And what it also has done, not only to sell listings faster, and I would say, you know, higher list prices, sale price for my clients, but you know, another factor that has been in place with that is like our SEO with video. When you use video, your branding online, it jumps you up higher, and you do this long enough and you become one of the top people organically that when people are searching for a realtor. But when we're doing a listing presentation, I have a whole gamut of videos from past clients. Then I will match a video or a house to the one I'm comping and presenting at that moment. And that seems to make that seller realize, like, oh wow, like they sold one very similar to mine down the street or around the corner. And trust is everything. They want to know that you're professional. They want to know that you are competent. They want to know that if I turn my house, which is the largest asset, and most of the times it's very emotional for people, they want to know and trust that this person is going to take over and do the best and represent me in the best possible light. If you're not displaying yourself well online anymore, you will not make it. Other people that are able to do that well will get it every time. Years ago, I had the ideal client in my mind that I wanted to work with. I made a word cloud that described all these different clients that I wanted to attract to work with. You know, certain clientele that I really feel like I connected with. And in order to do that, to get to the point where I wanted people to say, wow, like we need to work with her, I had to show that my marketing was hands down the best. And what does that look like? And so not only do we use professional video, professional photography, but we also have marketing that is done all the time. Our video was able to capture like 2 showings on each property, just like that day. So I called up my director of operations, Melissa, and I said, were you marketing the properties today for us? Because I just got these 2 new showings. And she goes, yep, Wednesdays are my marketing days. And it is proven that when we put those out there, it attracts the buyers and they will come out of the woodwork. We have been working with Philip for many years now, and not only do we feel like he's part of our family, but he is so great in communicating timeliness, and that really helps us because we have, again, systems where when we go live with a listing, there's a whole protocol, and he always gets us things on time in a very quickly compared to others I've worked with in the past. I have walked away from a video shoot saying, I don't know how he is gonna make that work because that was absolutely terrible. I don't know what I was even saying. And then we get this video back and he works his magic, and it's like incredible. And sells the house perfectly. Everything that I wanted to portray about the house, he is able to find in all of my rambling, and it has just been a wonderful experience.
Having really high quality media is vitally important to our business. There's a lot of instances where using high quality media, especially video and even sometimes drone footage, along with the property listing information, can help sell a home much faster. Be consistent with your message, be consistent with the materials you're putting out. If you're trying to attract a seller and you want to let them know that you're serious about what you're doing, it's not just the cost that you're going to invest into it, it's the return you get for that cost. And with high quality media, the return is exponential. It's not equally weighted. You get so much more from what you put in as a cost as what you get out in the video and media quality. It's so important if you're going to maintain a good and solid brand. If you're going to scale your brand, you have to be consistent and on point with your message. Quality is a message. Quality is hugely and vastly important to our industry. No one wants to work with an agent that's not treating you as a high priority client. And if you're using poor quality media, buyers and the audience are going to recognize that. That's not something you can hide. You have to have good quality media or they'll know. They'll know whether or not you're the right person to work with. I've just got through 4 years and most don't make it this far. If I can get through my 5th, which everything keeps scaling, much to your help. The fact that I got to work with you and that with 4-1 Media, it has made a monstrous difference in my business. The easiest thing to do is be consistent with who you're working with. I mean, you're a high-level professional. Your product is fantastic, and I don't have to worry about it. I also know that I'm getting charged a fair price. I also feel very comfortable working with you. I know that I can not be at a listing appointment, and you'll be there and interact with the clients, no problem. I don't have to be the liaison. I don't have to be the intermediary. That matters because you are as much of a brand as your company, and you're as much a part of my brand as I am your brand. I've explored that with different photographers, with different videographers, all who've been great, but no one has been as consistent and reliable with as good a quality as Philip with 4-1 Media. I keep coming back to the well every single time because Philip's a great person, his team is fantastic, they edit and turn around quickly, because your job ultimately is to sell the house, attract buyers, and continue to build a brand that people can trust. If the people you're working with can't be trusted or don't put out consistent quality, that's a reflection on you immediately. They don't understand that your photography team is not your employee. They don't understand that every one part of the transaction is not under your umbrella. And so you have to have someone with good rapport and professional acumen, and that's why I choose 4-1 Media every time.
I think that strong visuals definitely build trust with clients. Before I ever even walk in the door, I'll usually send them my packet ahead of time to let them know the services that they'll get when they meet me. And then I'll usually include a link or some photos of some other properties that I've marketed so they know they're in good hands. So ultimately, I want my brand to reflect a higher standard. I want people to know that I'm going to market their home as hard as I can, regardless of the price point, the size, location, that they're all going to get the same treatment, because again, I know it is their personal investment. And then also I take the time to get photos in social media every time, and then I use that in more creative marketing strategies rather than just taking those photos and dumping them in the MLS. I'm going to make sure that I get as many eyes on the property as possible. One example that I can use of when media made a huge impact in my seller's listing, we listed a home for $100,000 more than the home next door that was the exact same square footage and layout. And one thing that I added was video to show the updates, to show the value between my house and the house next door. And then also that allowed me to market the home on social media and YouTube and all those avenues to actually snag an out-of-town buyer. And we actually sold the house right away, and the house next door sat for a while. I don't think of the cost of media as a listing by listing price. To me, it's an overall branding, reputation. The photos and videos I can use throughout a transaction, even after closing, and then those photos live online and kind of represent me. Consistency is huge when branding and visuals. It shows stability and experience, and I like to set the expectation up front and then actually follow through with that for all clients. Social media and branding are so important. The need for this is definitely not going anywhere. So I want to continue to show up, get my seller's home viewed, and stay on top of mind with people who eventually want to sell their house in the future. I don't think you can do this by doing the bare minimum, so I think it's important to invest in yourself and your brand by ultimately investing in their home sale and marketing. I've had really good experience working with 4-1 Media in the past for photos and videos. I always know what kind of quality I'm going to have. I always know what kind of time frame I'm going to get the pictures back in, and that he will be there. And note little things like if you have to move the dog water bowl out of the way, or the little things that go a long way for those photos. And I really think that 4-1 Media does that, and he takes this seriously.